Okay, so she was asking me. Okay, so she was asking me if you import a file and edit it, can she import it back in the original file and say that she needs to edit it again? So you don't need to do that. Remember that this file is what you imported, what it is, right? So like this one is, if we scroll over to the right, is 37 seconds and 23 frames. No matter what you do in the timeline, this file will always be 37 seconds and 23 frames. Even if you only use a small version of that file, like in here. So if you click on this file, you can see that it's 4 seconds and 26 frames. Do you guys see that? So you don't have to worry about re-importing because this file will never change. Unless you actually import this file as a different, as something else. Does that make sense, Joel?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you can export this. When you click export, let's say I'm done with my video, I'm gonna go ahead and export this out. When you export this, you're exporting your timeline.
Mm.
You're not exporting this.
Okay.
So you can have, remember when I said that you can have several sequences?
Mm-hmm.
So this right here, what we built in here is called a sequence.
Mm.
Do you guys remember that?
Okay.
Okay. So let's say that you're done with your clips and you want to go ahead and export them out. If you go under File, Export, let me not select that. File, okay, now it's doing it. Wasn't doing that before. Sometimes, for some reason, the media will not be, it will be grayed out, like this options right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so sometimes all you have to do is just click on the program or the timeline or the project window, and then you see that it's available. So you can do Option M or Command M. So I'm gonna go, I always like to select my timeline. So I'm gonna export media, and you're gonna get this window right here. Now this makes it really easy for you, like, okay, you want a Facebook video, you want to TikTok, a Vimeo, what is it that you want? YouTube, anything else. I usually just leave it as media file. And right here, you can update the name. So you can say coffee movie if you want to. And you notice it's gonna export it as an MP4,
Mm-hmm.
which that's pretty generic because you can import that file into any of these applications. You can import that MP4 file, even if, let's say that this file, you're gonna put it up on YouTube, and you wanna use the same file for Facebook or Vimeo, you shouldn't have any problems with that MP4. So far, so good?
Mm-hmm.
So here, right here where it says location, you wanna go ahead and click on that, and I like to put my file where I can see it, because otherwise I'm gonna do a research for it, and I don't wanna do that. So I'm just saying here, format is an MP4, but you can't grab any other option. I went on the desktop and I went Make it Espresso 01 and select save. Now here, the preset match source adapted high bitrate, that's usually is the highest one. I usually leave that setting. And the H.264, that means that the format is pretty international. So here it says video, audio. So basically it says if it has video, you want that exported audio as well. Any effects, any metadata. Captions, we haven't covered that, but in case that you've added captions to this, then you want that turned on as well. So here it gives you a review of what you're doing. So the size is 1280 by 720. It's 59.94 frames per second. It's about 3 minutes, 43 seconds, and 20 frames. The audio is on stereo, and that's the output, scale to fit, and all I do, I select export. So look what it's doing. It's not a very big file, and you see it's exporting it right now. Okay, so that's done. So I'm gonna go find it in my messy desktop, bear with me. Yeah, they probably put it under movies because of how I have it organized. There it is, make espresso. So usually I drag it to my QuickTime. Whoops, where's my QuickTime? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is, okay. So I drag it to my QuickTime. Come on. And I open it up. So that's how it looks like right now. But you know, there's not there, you have a movie of what you made. You may have to export it several times because obviously mine is not complete, but I wanted you to look at what that looks like. There's a bunch of black in here too. One of the ways to do this on the black, if you export the whole thing out, so if we go to File, Export Media. Okay, you see this right here? This is the entire movie. I'm sorry. That's just that one clip. Let me go back. This is why, come on. This is why it's a good idea to select the timeline, okay? Because otherwise it will only select that one video. So File, Export, and this is what I'm talking about. I cannot even, because the setting is over here. So I'm gonna go and cancel this. But it's not letting me. Isn't that awesome? There it is. It was freezing. Hold on. Okay. So select your timeline. I'm going to adjust my workspace. I'm selecting my timeline here, go to File, Export, Media. Now it's showing me the whole movie. The 343. This, do you see this right here? You notice how it goes to black right there? So what I can do here, I can see this slider right here? I can take this slider, see, I'm gonna put it in there. And I'm gonna put right here, at the beginning I'm gonna put an in, and right here I'm gonna put an out. So if you notice, this part of it is highlighted, this part of it is not highlighted. So if I export this again, and once again I'm gonna leave it on the desktop, I'm gonna leave everything the same. Let me make sure it's not open. Yeah, because if you leave your file open, you won't do it. If I export, I'm gonna throw away the first one. Here it is. It has a little bit of black, but that's where it ended. You see the difference? Mm-hmm. So you don't wanna render everything else down. Let me get the other file out of the trash because I do wanna show you something. Okay, so let's say you went ahead and render it, you don't feel like re-rendering it again, and the original has all this black, right? One way that you can do, if you are on QuickTime, you can go to hold on 1 second, they have an option to crop. Here, I click to the end, rotate left, right here, under QuickTime. So this is, it's gonna show you this. You can either watch it or you slide this to from the right. Let's say you just want a couple of seconds of black. And then you can click trim. And look what it does. Isn't that cool? So you don't have to re-render the whole thing. You can actually trim it on QuickTime in case that you needed to. Now, and then what it's gonna ask you, look what it did with the name. It changed the name, right? Because it's a new file. So I will go to File, Save, and just put it on the desktop and call it Final Coffee Movie or whatever you need. Does that make sense? Okay, now you can take this file and go into YouTube and upload it. And the exported link is what you're going to turn in for that project. Any questions? You feel like you got it? Very simple, right? So just a couple of things. You're going to be interacting with QuickTime quite a bit. Another thing that I do in QuickTime, I do, let's say you wanna go ahead and export this as a smaller file. And in here, you can export it as, it's already 1080 pixels, so that's why it's not chosen. But let's say you get this file as 720. Instead of going back to Premiere Pro, export it as 720, you can do it here, and then you can even say copy movie 720, so you know what you're talking about, and export that. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So QuickTime does give you some capability. I don't have QuickTime Pro, but QuickTime Pro is not very expensive. And if you're gonna be doing quite a few videos, you may consider getting it. And it gives you some additional capabilities of converting different formats. I don't see a fee on it, so it may be free. You can see like $29 or $30 a year, which is very helpful. Okay, so I want you guys to go ahead and keep working on that. Lessons. You guys have a lot to do. Okay. Your phone, Joe. Your phone, don't forget.
Oh, what did I do with it?
You left that right there.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Well, now I'm missing it.